And when I've heard people talk about mission, they're often saying you need to do better. That's often the message, do better. And what I appreciated about what you said to me was, we're already living it. We just don't always recognize it. So I want you to talk specifically to the camp scenario. As you have visited at least one of our camps, SEP SoCal, why don't you explain how you witnessed missional living taking place there in the camp environment?
You know, something happened to me with the camp experience. When my daughters first went to camp, the first couple of years they went to camp, they came back telling me stories, you know, about difficult things that young ladies were going through. And they fell in love with people at camp, with their counselors at camp. And I just started thinking, wow, you know, good things are happening at camp. And when I experienced going to camp for one whole week, I was able to see it. How young kids would come to camp and they're needed and they're at a different stage of their lives. But a lot of you guys who go to camp are willing to embrace them, to love them, to participate with them, and even to stay in touch with them. Because a lot of my kids from my church that I've sent to camp, some of them don't even come to my church anymore. But I've heard the stories of how camp counselors have stayed in touch with them through Facebook, and have been counseling them through those means. So that's living on mission. That's participating in the needs of someone's lives at a particular point in their lives. So we're already doing that in camp. So when Anthony and I were just talking about how do we translate this, or how do we do this, I said, Anthony, you know, we're already living on mission as we go to camp and we participate with kids in what God is doing in their lives. But I started thinking, but has God called us to live on mission for 1 week? No. He's called us to live on mission on a daily basis. And that may not be that we're living on mission with that person at camp throughout the whole year, but we got friends. We're engaging people at the marketplace every day. So how does that translate? So it's got to be birthed in the heart. So when we talk about people going to camp and giving up one whole week of their work, paying to get to camp. A lot of people pay their way to get to camp. You know, why is it that you do that? I love Macy's presentation. Maybe because we're getting fed something that we need. Yeah, that happens a lot. But I also want to believe that the Spirit is kind of also nudging us in a way. You know, putting us in a particular place at a particular time with a particular purpose. So if that's happening at camp for 1 week, I think that's happening every day in different scenarios where we live out our lives.